And how are you? Welcome to Joey's Tech. In this video of Joey's Tech, we are going to understand the Bell numbers recursive relation. This video is an extension of the partitioning and pairing problems. This recursive relation is a little bit complex to understand, but I have kept the explanation very easy. I am sure you are going to understand it, and all you have to do is watch this video till the end. So let's do it. As you can see, these are the Bell numbers. The position of these Bell numbers start from 0. So at 0th position we have 1, at first position we have 1, at second position we have 2. This means that when there are two integers in a set, there are two ways by which we can partition them. Now, Bell numbers can also be represented by Sn, k, which is the sum of Sn, k for k equals to 1 to n. Now, actually, this is a recursive relation that we are going to study that determines Sn, k. Now, Sn, k also means that it is the total number of partitions of n elements into k sets. So like we got 2 here when we had two integers, and if you see this Bell number series over here, we have 5 for n equals to 3. So this is n, k is going to determine 5 when n is equal to 3, and it will do it using this recursive relation. So this recursive relation says that Sn, k is equal to k into Sn minus 1, k plus Sn minus 1, k minus 1. Looks a little bit complex. Don't worry, we are going to understand it using examples. But first, let's find out the meaning of these two components of the relation. Alright, so the first component, which is Sn minus 1, k minus 1, suggests that when we add nth element to existing k partitions, then it is added as a single element to the existing partitions. Alright, don't worry, we are going to understand it using an example, and I'm sure that you are going to understand it well. Then the second component, which is k into Sn minus 1, k, suggests that when we add nth element to k partitions, then it is added to all sets of every partition. Now let's study these components using an example. So as you can see that when n is equal to 2, there are two ways to partition two integers. So there are two integers in a set, and there are two ways to partition them. So this is the first way when we are breaking them down into two partitions over here. So this is the first way, and this is the second way when we are keeping them together in a single partition. Now, using those two components, let's determine the number of ways for n equal to 3. So the first component suggested that when we add nth element to existing partitions, then it is added as a single element. So 3 is our nth element. Now n equals to 3 means that there are 3 integers in a set. So 1 and 2 were already there, and we are adding 3 to it. Alright, like the first component suggested that this 3 is getting added as a single element to the existing partition. So if you look at these two partitions, then this 3 has been added as a single element there, and we got these two ways. I'm sure it is clear to you now. If it is not clear, you can put your doubts in the comment section. I'll answer them within 24 hours. Now, the second component suggests that 3 is going to be added to each of these partitions. The second component suggests that. So as you can see, this 3 has been added to all these partitions. So when I add this 3 into this partition, so I am going to get this way. Okay, 1 and 3 together and 2 alone. So 3 just added to this partition. Now when I'm going to add 3 to this partition, I'm going to get this. 1 separate, 2 and 3 together. And when I add 3 to this partition, then I'm going to get all of them together. So overall there are 5 ways to partition a set which contains 3 integers. And this is what that recursive relation determines, and we have just understood it using an example. Now we are going to determine it technically using that equation in our framework. Okay, so we are going to switch to our framework now. Now if you are new to my channel and haven't subscribed to my channel yet, then please do so. Please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell icon, because that way you will get notified whenever I release new videos like this in future. Now let's switch to the framework and understand the technical implementation of this relation, where I have written down everything. So for n equals to 2, we have two ways by which we can partition two integers. This number 1 indicates that there is only one way to partition this set of integers into one partition. So as you can see, they are in a single partition. This one indicates that there is only one way to partition two integers into two partitions. So k equals to 2 means two partitions. So the sum total of these two gives us two total number of ways to partition two integers. That is what that 2 means. Now using this data, we are going to find out the total number of ways for n equals to 3. That means when there are 3 integers in the set. So we are going to determine that component by component. So you can see that I have written the two components and their expansion over here. So for k equals to 1, this is its expansion. For k equals to 2, this is the expansion. For k equals to 3, this is the expansion. So I have done nothing. I have replaced k by this value, and n was 3, so n minus 1 is obviously going to come out as 2. And similarly I have done here. So n minus 1 is going to be 2. As you can see, it is k minus 1. So for k equals to 1, we are going to get 0 over here, and similarly here we'll get 1, and here we'll get 2. Now let's start determining their values. So what does this mean? We have s2 comma 1. That means we are partitioning a set of two integers into one partition. So the value of this s2 comma 1 is 1 over here. Now this means the same thing. That is why I have expanded the partitions of n equals to 2. So this value is 1. I am going to put down 1 over here. All right. Now moving here, we have s2 comma 2. That means in how many ways we can partition a set of two integers into two partitions. So there is only one way. So let me give you a shortcut. Whenever n and k are equal, the value is obviously going to be 1. If you expand this, even if you have three integers and you are asked in how many ways you can partition them into three partitions, then the answer is always going to come out as 1. So I'm going to put 1 over here, but we have 2 as the multiplier. So the value over here is going to come out as 2. Now the value of s2 comma 3 is going to be 0, because we cannot partition a set of two integers into three partitions. That is not possible. So whenever k is greater than n, then the answer is going to come out as 0. So I'm going to put 0 over here. Moving on to this cell, what s2 comma 0 is going to mean? So we cannot partition a set of two integers into 0 partitions. That is not possible. So the value over here is going to come out as 0. Now s2 comma 1 we already determined here, so I'm going to put it here as 1. S comma 2 we already found out, and this is over here as well. The value is going to come out as 1. Now let's add these up first of all. So I am going to get 1 as the value when k equals to 1. All right, 3 as the value when k equals to 2, and 1 as the value when k equals to 3. And the summation of these three results is going to be 5. So 5 is the total number of ways by which we can partition a set of 3 integers. The beauty of this recursive relation is that at any point of time we can determine, the beauty of this relation is that we can also determine how many ways are there to partition a set of 3 integers into 2 partitions. So if for k equals to 2, the value is coming out as 3. So we can say, yes, there are 3 ways to partition a set of 3 integers into 2 partitions, and we already saw that in the previous slide. If someone asks you in how many ways you can partition a set of 3 integers into 3 partitions, then you can say in one way. All right. So this is the beauty of this recursive relation. So with this, we have come to the end of this video. I hope you learned from this video. I hope you understood this problem completely. I recommend you to rewatch this video, then you'll get a good hold on this problem. In the next video, we are going to solve a pairing problem using the recursive relation that we studied and the bell numbers concept that we studied. I look forward to help you with algorithms and programming. Do give this video a thumbs up, and until the next video, goodbye.